Hello, welcome back. I hope you're having an amazing day. Today I want to share 7 ways I was able to reduce visual clutter in my home. Visual clutter, in my mind, is when I see a lot of busy things and my eye is just bouncing around from one place to another. Or in my home, for instance, when a surface is completely covered with stuff. It is clutter, but I know I want all those things in my home. It's just visual clutter at that point. So I try to find places for all these things to go. And the first tip I have is to make a drop zone. Behind me here, we have this little table that my husband made. It's right by our door, and I just simply put a basket here, and this is where I can set all my things when I walk in the door. I know I've mentioned this before in other videos, but this is where everyone knows they can put their things. When my mom is visiting, she sets her bag over here. Also, by having this designated area, I can have less things dropped onto my dining room table and our kitchen counters, which I know can be such a pain point for a lot of people out there. And by making a drop zone, it really helps with that, because then people know to come here first, drop off their stuff before they head into the house and carry on with what they're doing. And here in our kitchen, we live in a 1950s fixer-upper, and the tile is mint and yellow. So instead of picking yet another color to add to this room, I stuck with the same color theme of mint when we decided to do this wall right here. We added some beadboard to the bottom of this wall for a little bit of detail, and then I tried my hardest to match the same mint color to the tile here in this kitchen, just to pull it all together without adding a lot of extra colors and adding to the visual stimulation of this kitchen. I also reduce visual clutter in my kitchen cabinets and pantry by putting everything into clear containers and taking it out of the busy or bright colored packaging. By limiting the amount of open shelves you have, it will help with visual clutter. And I know open shelving is so trendy right now, but what I've done is up here, I've added some baskets. So we're not seeing all of the little pieces of clutter. We just see one large basket, which really helps reduce the amount of visual clutter I'm seeing. And one of the items that I store in this basket is the vitamins I take, which is by Ritual. Even with a perfect diet, it can be hard to get the key nutrients we need on a daily basis. This is why Ritual helps women fill the gaps in their diet. I like Ritual vitamins because they are committed to making their vitamins as sustainable as possible. Each Ritual bottle is made with 100% recycled materials, and mailers are made from recycled newsprint and plant fibers. I just love that Ritual offsets the environmental footprint. Ritual is the obsessively researched multivitamin reimagining health from the ground up. I love the no nausea capsule design, and there is a mint tablet in each bottle that helps to keep these vitamins smelling fresh. Better health doesn't happen overnight, and right now Ritual is offering you all 10% off your first 3 months. Fill in the gaps in your diet with Essential for Women, a small step that helps support a healthy foundation for your body. Make sure you check out the description box below for 10% off during your first 3 months by going to ritual.com/ShannonT and using ShannonT at checkout. And thank you so much to Ritual for sponsoring this video. And by storing these up here, I can keep the visual clutter off of my open shelf. And over here on this giant wall, I opted to go with 3 large canvases rather than having a large gallery wall with a bunch of little pieces of art. And while that looks great for a lot of people, they love it, for me, I like when my eye can just visually rest. Another great way to make your home feel cohesive and put together is to pick about 3 to 5 colors that all go together and work together to use throughout your home. I've done this. I mean, we vary from it a little bit in my boys' room, but overall we have white, kind of a natural wood color, light blues and grays, and then a more earthy toned gray that I like to work with throughout our home. And of course, once in a while, we'll put a pop of brightness into our home with maybe a pot or something like that. But I try to stick to that color theme because it makes our home feel very cohesive. And again, it just makes it feel calm and clutter-free rather than having a whole bunch of different colors that contrast and don't go together, which can be very visually stimulating. The other thing I try to do is limit the amount of patterns in my home. Yes, I still have patterns. I love patterns, but I try to use maybe 1 or 2 patterns at the most in a bedroom. I noticed when we lived in our condo and I first started decorating there, I had way too many different patterns. They were all clashing and it just never looked put together, and it looked very visually cluttered. I have a really bold pattern here, and I like to use patterns on things that I can switch out, like a blanket rather than the actual chair itself, because it makes it easier when decorating, or if I decide to move that item from one room to the next, I don't have this bold pattern I have to work with. So that's another thing you can look into when you're trying to calm your home or make it less visually cluttered, is just, do you have too many patterns in each room? Another way I avoid a little bit of clutter in my living room is I opted to not have a coffee table. We are so happy we decluttered our extra little coffee tables that we had when we first started to become minimalist, and I just find coffee tables tend to attract a ton of clutter, and also they seem to look kind of funny when they're empty as well. So most people end up putting a tray with all kinds of decorative things on there, and I just felt it looked so much better to have an open rug where we can walk straight to the seat we want to sit in, and we do have a place to put our drinks if we do have drinks in here, is the little side table with my lamp. But 9 times out of 10, we don't drink in this room or eat in this room. So we are perfectly happy without all the clutter that a coffee table brings. One thing I like to do is store items that are not currently in use. So in my kitchen, I try to store away all the appliances in my cupboard so I'm not seeing them out on the counter. The only thing we keep out is our toaster and the hot water kettle, because we use those throughout the day, every day. But other than that, I usually put the appliances away so I'm just not seeing that visual clutter. And I also ended up keeping 2 pillows from my stop doing pillow declutter video, which I can link below. But I kept 2 pillows, so when we do want to lay down, we can pull out those throw pillows and lay on the couch and use them. But other than that, I keep them stored in our linen closet, and along with all the throw blankets and anything else that we use on the couch, because I just feel it looks way less cluttered in my home when I'm not seeing those pillows on my couch. So that is another thing you could think about, is just storing things away and then getting them out when you actually need to use them. Another thing I try to remember to do is to actually put things away. I know this sounds so simple and obvious, but taking that extra step and putting something away instead of leaving it out. Slippers are a big thing for me. So sometimes I take my slippers off and just leave them by my bed, and it looks so much better in our room if I take the extra step and just put the slippers into my closet. So I just want to say that taking that extra moment to put something away, and I think there's a rule, if it takes you less than a minute to put something away, you might as well just do it at that moment. You'll be so much happier, your home will look cleaner and neater, and it'll just keep you on top of your home rather than being overwhelmed by everything being left out all the time. This is what we do in our home. It works really well, and I have to remind myself to do all these just like everyone else. But by keeping on top of everything, our home stays clutter-free, and I feel it gives us a very calm environment to live in. Leave me a comment and let me know what you've done in your home to eliminate some visual clutter. And thank you so much for joining me today. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Don't forget to check out the discount code down below for Ritual Vitamins.